as a law of nature is that two people from alternate dimensions cannot exist within the same time and place, as their bodies will be forced together and obliterated out of existence, correcting the anomaly. Valentine, of course, being an exception.
What's good, guys? Yo, boy, No Mercy 4K, doing Mercy in the building, coming back at you with another banger reaction video. Today we got the strongest stand in JoJo, according to Araki. You guys asked me to check this out. You guys did, and recently we saw another video like this, strongest stand in JoJo's, but not according to Araki. Well, I don't know. The other one was just by another guy. This one is by X Sports, and you guys asked me to check out this specific video, so that's what I'm here to do. If you enjoyed this reaction, hit the like button for me and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers here soon. I appreciate you, saying, watching and tuning in though. Let me know what you guys think about this reaction, this video down below in the comments. I hope you enjoy. Let's get it. What's good, bro? If you want to see full and uncut reactions earlier than when I post them on here on YouTube, consider checking out the Patreon. Link is in the description. Supporting on Patreon helps me keep making banger videos for you guys, bruh. The strongest stand in JoJo's.
The strongest stand in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is a debate as old as stands themselves, as fans power scale and pit their abilities head to head to try and decide who's the best. Even the characters within the series have questioned the power scaling of stands and have discussions about them, with Dio claiming some stands to be the weakest and others to be the strongest. And hell, I pretty much started making content because of these questions through my series of standoff videos. So it's of course a fun discussion to have that could potentially have a definitive answer. Although the series creator Hirohiko Araki's approach to power is not as simple as one might think, as typically the strongest stands in the series of course belong to the main JoJos and main villains, as by the end of each part it's a clash between their powers to see who will overcome. Although unlike other series like say Dragon Ball for example, where a character's power is determined by a number or their pure strength and speed, the unique part about JoJo is that Araki approaches his characters in a completely different way than most series, as instead of making villains stronger as the series continued, he strived to make them different from what came before, as stands possess some of the most unique and bizarre abilities in all of manga, making it almost impossible to determine the outcome of certain encounters, like the age-old question of Dio's time stop versus Diavolo's time skip. What would really happen if these two characters fought, and how would their powers interact? Sure, it can be fun to theorize and discuss, but it would never really answer the question of who is stronger. So for this dilemma, let's look towards Araki himself, the creator of these powers, and find out what stand he considers to be the strongest ability he ever wrote, diving into some of the mind-bending ideas such as King Crimson, Made in Heaven, D4C, and the Wonder of You. But before we can uncover the strongest stand in JoJo, let's talk about the strongest way you guys can protect your online activity and take full control over your internet experience.
Come on, don't tell me to add.
Your online identity, working from home, advantage of on mobile, on your device. You can insta-tire over. We'll have a complete watch the entire anime connect to you up. I'm good on the non-saying universe containing parts of privacy. I am good on the So getting back into the video, in the original JoJo universe containing parts 1 through 6, when it came to the most powerful stands, Araki found that depicting the forces of the world that cannot be seen through stand abilities to be the peak of his creativity. This is why the main villain's powers controlled the forces of time, fate, and gravity, these invisible forces woven into the fabric of reality bending to one's will, which is a truly terrifying idea, as Dio was able to stop time to all of those on Earth and possibly beyond being able to temporarily exist in his own world. Kuro was able to rewind time, trapping his targets in a loop destined to relive their death. Diavolo was able to change fate by skipping through time, breaking free from his destined path. And Father Pucci, through evolving his stand to Sea Moon, was able to influence gravity and eventually time, accelerating time to a singularity point which reset the entire universe. So yeah, there are pretty powerful abilities and complex ideas, but in terms of strongest, it depends on how we determine what makes a stand strong. Is it its ability to win in a fight, its ability to break the laws of nature, how much destruction it can cause, or how large of an impact the stand can have on the universe? As these stands can all be measured in different ways, although according to Araki, none of these stands are what he considers to be the strongest. Not even Gold Experience Requiem, which in theory could overwrite any of the previously mentioned stand powers, completely nullifying their abilities. So if none of these stands are the strongest, let's move into the alternate universe. In the 7th part of JoJo, Steel Ball Run, Araki would create Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, a stand with the ability to access an unlimited number of parallel worlds, pushing his depictions of these invisible forces to his absolute limits, introducing the idea of a multiverse as a canon within the series, as the stand user Funny Valentine could hop between dimensions, interacting with alternate versions of himself and others, and even pull people between dimensions, creating anomalies in space-time that I'm sure even Valentine himself couldn't fully comprehend, as a law of nature is that two people from alternate dimensions cannot exist within the same time and place, as their bodies will be forced together and obliterated out of existence, correcting the anomalies. Valentine of course made an exception to the rule, as his stand was able to bypass this phenomenon.
So it's basically a dimension skipper.
So while D4C may not be as widely impacting as say Made in Heaven, I would definitely say it goes further beyond any original universe's stand's capabilities, being able to travel limitlessly between dimensions, which is a greater force than time itself. And as if this wasn't powerful enough, D4C eventually progresses further into D4C Love Train, using the power of Jesus Christ himself to manipulate the alternate universe's If this wasn't powerful enough, D4C eventually progresses further into D4C Love Train, using the power of Jesus Christ himself to manipulate the alternate universe's depiction of fate, which is the invisible flows of positive and negative energy within the world, placing Valentine in a gap in space unaffected by any negative energy within the universe. The only ability that was able to overcome Love Train's gap was Toss X4, which created an infinite source of energy, literally infinity, which could break through Love Train's interdimensional barrier and imbue him with the infinite spin, which controls time, gravity, and the ability to cross through dimensions, following Valentine no matter where he traveled, constantly pulling him back underground to where he was first struck by the attack, an ability Valentine could only describe as a calamity. So we are getting closer to the strongest stand, but even after all of these powers, Araki still does not consider any of them to be the strongest. And that brings us to part 8 and the Wonder of You, where Araki would write what he believes to be the strongest adversary. In the author notes of JoJolion Volume 27, the final volume of the part, Araki would write, "Who's stronger, Godzilla or Ultraman? That's always been on my mind ever since I fantasized about it as a child. Even when writing JoJo, this type of topic is not something I can avoid. Who is the strongest villain? What is strength and what is peak fortune? I've decided that the strongest and most terrifying adversity one can face is called Calamity. Calamity attacks irrationally, but is actually bound by a certain logic and will encroach every person equally. It's too powerful, and trying to overcome it might in itself be beyond hope." So according to Araki, Calamity is the strongest ability, and in turn that would make the Wonder of You the strongest stand. But what does the Wonder of You actually do? Sure, something about Calamity and chains of logic, but what really is Calamity and how does the stand use it? So like pretty much every other stand we have discussed, the Wonder of You does not create Calamity. Same as Valentine does not create other dimensions.
By the way, I have seen a few of the most terrifying stands videos, like the Tuskak 4, GRE, and Wonder of You, so that's why I know a little bit, but I don't know too much about these things, you know what I'm saying, or not all the intricate details and all that. But if you're not saying, just wondering why I know a little bit, seen a few of those most terrifying stand videos, you can check them out on the Non-Insane channel. You feel me? Make sure Non-Insane, hit the like button, subscribe if you're interested, bro. Also, let me know what other reactions you want to see here soon, or what other terrifying stands that you want to see here. I think people want me to check out that D4C one. Some other ones.
The Wonder of You does not create Calamity. Same as Valentine does not create other dimensions, and Diavolo does not create fate. Their stands are merely tools that allow them to manipulate a force that already exists. So Calamity on its own is already a force within the alternate world of JoJo, same as time and gravity. So the Wonder of You is essentially able to manipulate Calamity energy and redirect it at will, specifically towards anyone who chooses to pursue Toru or the head doctor, which is just another physical physical form of the stand. But where does calamity energy come from, and why is it so powerful? In this alternate universe, Araki explores the philosophy of existence and what it truly means to exist, as everything in this world that exists is trapped within a balance of positive and negative energy. This concept can be viewed as the alternate recreation of fate from the original universe. In Golden Wind, why do bad things happen to good people? Because fate exists, a predetermined destiny caused by unseen forces. In the alternate universe, why do bad things happen to good people? Because they exist within the flow of calamity, and everything within this flow is at the mercy of the balance of positive and negative forces. This is all pretty much an overcomplicated interpretation of good and bad luck, but viewed in a way that binds these irrational occurrences to a universal logic. So think of existence as a bubble, sealed off and inescapable, and within the bubble is an equal amount of positive and negative energy, perfectly balanced like a yin and yang sign. And everything which exists is also within the bubble, bouncing around in unpredictable paths, encountering an equal amount of positive and negative energy at random moments. And the wonder of usability is simply to trap someone within the negative energy, an inescapable flow of calamity, which in a way is a manipulation of fate by controlling the path
that's
of one's
actually
existence.
insane.
But this ability in practice isn't necessarily more powerful than any of the previously mentioned stands, especially the past main villains. It's just harder to overcome. As in the manga, its power is visualized by characters encountering bouts of bad luck, such as knocking into things, getting hit by a car, cutting your fingers in the kitchen, or a plane door falling from the sky and hitting you. Just completely random occurrences of bad luck as a result of being placed in that negative flow. So I believe the reason why Araki claims calamity to be the strongest adversary is because of how universal and overwhelming it is. Dio stopping time is powerful, and it does stop time for everyone, but not everyone feels or notices its effects. And the same for King Crimson and D4C. Made in Heaven is kind of the exception here, but that's more of a one-time use ability that just resets everything and that's over. Calamity, on the other hand, is a representation of literally all of the negative energy in existence. It's irrational and unpredictable and could affect anyone at any time to varying degrees. If we say that Araki's philosophy of positive and negative flows is how the world really works, then you, me, and everyone else watching this video have encountered the power of calamity in some form. It affects our lives in tangible ways and leaves in its wake pain and sorrow. It's completely unavoidable and something we can't overcome, a force which affects everyone within existence in equal amounts, and I believe it's for this reason why Araki considers this power to be the strongest. So I don't necessarily think Araki is saying the Wonder of You is the strongest stand in JoJo, rather the force it's able to control is the most powerful concept Araki has explored so far with this writing, far greater than time, fate, gravity, and parallel dimensions. So by default, that might actually mean that Soft and Wet Go Beyond is the strongest stand in JoJo, as its ability allows it to exist outside of reality and go beyond calamity itself. But does that also mean the stand could go beyond time and gravity? I'm not so sure. So I guess the debate can continue forever and always for who is the strongest stand in JoJo. And maybe in the JoJo lands, Araki will write something even more powerful than calamity. And that is the strongest stand in JoJo, according to Araki himself. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and be sure to leave a comment leaving your case for the strongest stand in JoJo. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and be sure to show some love.
According to Araki, the strongest stand is probably Wonder of You, just because of the force that it can control. Apparently, not saying that the Wonder of You control the bad luck and completely just not saying attack you with just straight crazy random occurrences of bad luck and that are gonna completely destroy you. Like, that is a crazy thing to be able to control. I ain't gonna lie. But like he said, it's not automatically mean it's the strongest. There could be a debate still, because you know what I'm saying, the other ones that can control and go at it complete just existence, just not saying control, not saying dimensions, not dimensions, but leave that bubble that is controlled by all the non-saying calamity and other forces, and can just control its own destiny, but apparently it can still be affected by time and space or gravity. I don't even know, bro. You know what I'm saying? This JoJo stuff is confusing. No cap, bro. But apparently they're saying here, Araki's saying Wonder You is most likely the strongest, some way or another. You feel me? Let me know what you guys thought about that down below in the comments. What you thought about that video, my reaction to it down below. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, bro. It really helps out a lot. Appreciate you, know what I'm saying, watching, tuning in. If you made it until the end, let me know in the comments also what other videos like this you want to see. And made it until the end, let me know by commenting. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Wins, bro. W stand. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The stands are actually pretty interesting in JoJo's, bro. That's one thing about JoJo's, bro. The stands are really intricate, detailed, different, just a completely different like power system and just interpretation of power compared to every other show, anime things I've seen and filming. They're really nice and interesting and just like unique. So W stands, bro. W stands in the chat. Wins in the comment. Wins in the 9 saying chat me into this. I'm gonna see you guys next time. Have a great free day. And I'm out.